to the next edition of Getcha Popcorn Ready.
Yes, sir.
I am one of your hosts, T.O., and my other guy over here.
My man Hatch is in the building. What's up? Holla at your boy.
And we have a very special guest. Austin Ekeler is in the building.
Let's go, man.
Let's go, man.
Chargers.
I would say I love the energy. I feel it. But don't say San Diego.
Oh yeah, that's push-ups.
Oh, you're right.
That's push-ups.
Oh man,
that's a push-ups. You owe us one.
It's been
How many
6 years.
How many push-ups?
6 years.
5 push-ups. I got to do 5.
You got at least 20. It's 6
Oh,
years.
But 20.
6 years.
1,
Busting
2,
them out. There it
3,
is.
4, 5. Okay, we got it. There you go.
There you go.
You're right. My
It's the
bad.
LA Chargers,
My
ladies and
bad.
gentlemen.
The Los Angeles Chargers.
So how you think it would have been different if you guys were still in San Diego right
So
now?
I was never in San Diego.
Right.
I've only been in LA. I was during the transition year.
Right.
But I noticed the difference when we were down there for like training camp before we made the move up. Like you'd go out to like the bars or like down to the beach. There'd be like in the restaurants jerseys of Chargers up there, right? We come up here, people are like,
Who are
y'all?
you?
You know? It's crowded. It's crowded in LA, you know, as far
Yeah.
as entertainment. So that's what we're
Yeah.
competing against, man.
I mean, you're sharing, a lot of the limelight this year.
Yeah.
Los Angeles. You got, from basketball world, you got the Clippers,
Right.
the Lakers,
Right.
and then obviously now we got the Rams, we got you guys.
USC and you is such
Right,
a prominent
yes.
football
Right.
powerhouse.
It's embedded in the culture up there, right? And we're the new kids on the block, right?
Right.
So we got to earn respect, and that takes time and it takes winning,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So that's what we got. And then we got the Rams there as well, right?
Yeah,
So we're
yeah.
competing against them in our own space.
Yeah.
So it's tough right now, but hey, all we can do as players, we got to show up. We
Yeah.
got to show up, make it exciting, win games.
Would you again? You're from a small town,
Small town.
right? So
Small.
do you like the small town, or are you kind of getting used to this big city living?
At
type
first,
of deal?
man, because I'm from like the country, right? Like 80 acres of just dry grassland,
Right,
Out
right.
in Colorado, farmland, right?
Right.
And
Eaton, Colorado, right?
Eaton, Colorado.
There it
that's
is,
Right.
okay.
That's right. Eaton,
Okay.
Colorado. And out there, man, that's what I grew up around. So that's really all I knew at the time. And so like, coming out to LA, I'm like, man, like it's probably gonna be too big, traffic, so many people. But as I got older and just matured more, and I knew I wanted to go into the business space. That's what I went to school for.
Nice.
And I just saw all the opportunities. And really, what I am, I'm an opportunity chaser, right? As we get in more into it, you'll hear more of my story, man. I'm just chasing as many opportunities as I can, plant as many seeds.
Right.
And
Yes.
so, coming to LA, there's opportunity
Yeah.
all over the place,
Everywhere.
right? And so it just showed me like, hey, there's so much more out there, than my little town, which I obviously knew, but didn't really get to experience that until I got out here.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
how much of a transition or adjustment, I would say, how much of an adjustment was that for you coming? Because like you said, coming from a small town, I'm
Yeah.
equally where I'm from, Alexander City, Alabama, small, probably
Yeah.
smaller than where you were from, but was it overwhelming? How was the adjustment going from like a small town then obviously to a big city?
Yeah,
because
man.
some people they can't adjust that well, and then you said it, the maturation process of who you are, where you were then and who you are now has, I guess, enabled you to be able to
Right.
adjust.
For me, I think I was so focused on the opportunity that I really didn't get caught up in that. I lived in a bubble, so just going back a little bit, didn't really have much exposure to the NFL. Didn't even watch the NFL until like my junior year of college. And,
Wow.
And then my coach comes to me like, hey man, you might have an opportunity. And so after my senior year, I dropped out my last semester and just went and trained. I said, you know what, if this is an opportunity that I have, I'm gonna put everything into this so that I can make sure that I can say at the end of the day, I put everything into trying to make it to this level and can play at this at the league, right? And so I did just that, man, put every ounce of my energy into training for the league. And so when I finally did get picked up, as a free agent to the Chargers, it was the same thing. My mindset never changed, so I was just football, just trying to maximize things that I could do to get my exposure up. I knew it was going to be in special teams, got into camp, right? So my adjustment really didn't happen, I think, till after my first season because I was so locked in. I was in a bubble of making sure I'm coming in 6th string, undrafted,
Right.
every odd against me, right? And so the adjustment came after when I started, to get established in the league, get established with the Chargers, where it's like now, I've seen these opportunities that are coming to me because I'm part of the NFL and because we're in LA, which is, entertainment hub, where people, as far as one of the coolest stories was for an endorsement, actually. It was for Paramount. They needed somebody the next day, and they're like, hey, one of your teammates dropped out on us, we need someone from the Chargers, can you do it? And so they sent a helicopter to come get me.
Wow.
And it was insane. I was like, this
Yeah,
is never
this is
happening.
LA. Welcome to LA. Yeah.
I'm like, what is this? This is insane,
awesome.
So it's been great. It's been a great adjustment so far, and looking forward to continue to grind.
So that was your welcome to
That was
LA
it.
moment.
Right,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Right?
That was
That's what they do. It's what
Right,
they do.
definitely.
Everything in
Welcome
LA
to
is it's sexy, it's big,
Exactly.
right? So I want to kind of go back because again, we always get into it about this because he really didn't even enjoy the sport of football, right?
Yeah.
Growing up, right? I was all in from the ages of 6, let's say, right?
Mm-hmm.
Watch it every Sunday, and
Right.
I'm sitting there taking notes as a kid, you know. And you said like you really didn't watch NFL football until you got to college, which is crazy to me. So what was going on during your high school career as far as like, I don't really care about being a professional athlete. I don't really, you know, that's not my focus. Like, what
Right.
was your focus if sports wasn't your focus?
Man, it was just more so on the moment, you know, and I think that's so powerful, especially because I translate that to today. Like I focus on the moment because that's the most important thing. That's the only thing you can control is what I have right now in my hands. And so for me during that time, I had a bunch of different sports. You know, I had the work life at home. My mom's ex-husband, he built fence, so summers we're building fence, so just working, whether it was sports, whether it was school. My mom was a school teacher, so she was on my ass for all of that. And then it was during the summers building fence. And so there was a work culture within my little family there out in the plains, man. So that really got engraved into me. So it wasn't really looking forward to like, oh, like what's this next goal that I might, it's like, hey, take advantage of it now, and then the results will play themselves out from the work that you put in right now.
Wow,
You know?
yeah, that's impressive. So again, you know, we're high school football, you know, in the 5-star and 4-star. Then they go to Alabama and Clemson.
Right.
You go to Western Colorado.
Right.
Western State, Western Colorado. 2,300 kids, you said.
Yeah.
And again,
Yeah.
I went to Langston University. He went to a small school. So we're all for, you know, it's not about going to Ohio State, Notre Dame,
Right.
USC, right? That doesn't matter. Like, but when did you find out, okay, this small school, like I had a scout come see me? Like, what was
Right.
that process like when you found
Yeah,
out?
man. So like my senior year, man, I just dominated, man.
Right.
Like 5-6 touchdowns a game. You know how it is. Like I'm averaging 10 yards a carry, like
Wow.
240 rushing yards a game.
Wow.
You know, but I go to a school that has 500 students, which I don't know if that's small or big to you, but in Colorado, it wasn't really seen as like an athlete school, right? So I'm out here dominating. Like, okay, like maybe I'll get some interest from somewhere. Nobody comes. I have some D1 AA's come to me. They're like, oh, you know, maybe come as an athlete, as a corner. We'll see where you fit in. And I was like, nah, I want to play running back, man. I want to play like I'm a running. I play that forever. That's what I want to do. And so finally, I had Western Colorado come to me, and they're like, "Hey, our senior running back just graduated. We have a new spot you can come compete for." And boom, sign me up. I'm gonna play running back. And so that's where my journey to Western was born. Yeah.
That's awesome. Because again, once you get to get to college, you're still like, I don't know what position I'm really gonna be good at in 3 years, or maybe the coach sees me as something else, right? So.
That's
like,
something I'll add
sticking to
too,
it.
man. Is like I feel like I had all the numbers, I had all that, but one thing that they couldn't measure was what was between my
There you
ears,
go.
man.
There you
And
go.
like I told you, I had that work culture in my family, and they can't measure that. It's not measurable on paper, right? They don't know that I'm in the weight room grinding. I remember one call, my mom was like, "Where you at?" And I was working out Snap Fitness. That was the gym.
Yeah,
I was like, "Mom, I'm trying to be a millionaire, man." Like, I'm just grinding. I'm just working because I know if I put the work in now, results will continue to just pay off, right?
Awesome.
And so that's stayed with me to this day. Stayed with me to my journey to the Charger, right? Where I put everything in, like let's go work.
Right.
And then if it happens, great. It was meant to be. If not, we'll move that mindset to something else.
Yeah.
And I'll grow in something else. And that's how its journey's continued to express itself over time, right? Where I was 6th string, working my way up, splitting reps. Now I'm a starter. Now I'm starting my empire and real estate, all this other stuff, building my app, my foundation, all the social stuff, right? It just keeps going. You try to embed this mindset into every aspect of my life and plant all these seeds, right? And I start to plant all these seeds, and they start to, sprout, and then they nurture other things, and other new opportunities come. It just keeps going, like stuff that you're doing. You're doing the same thing, right? You have your skill. People say, shoot for the stars. I say, build up your floor. So no matter what, you fall, you're still up here. I ain't shooting for the stars, putting everything and risking everything, and if I fall, I'm way down there again. I got to start over, build that shit up, right? No matter what happens, I'm already up here. You can't get anything less than here.
Absolutely.
Right, this is my floor, so that's where my mindset plays a part into it, and that's how it took me through my journey.
That's
So,
awesome.
yes,
And add motivational speaker to that list. Go right ahead. I love
We
it.
just played off the welcome to your LA type of moment. Obviously, understanding and hearing you talk about obviously being on special teams.
Yeah.
We've all been there. I have. Playing kick return, playing kickoff team. Playing the L1, all these type of things.
Yeah.
So. In playing football, going through the special teams, understanding you got to grind and before you really get your opportunity at running back.
Yeah.
What was your your welcome to the NFL moment?
Wow. I think there's a couple different moments, but I think when I actually feel like I actually got some recognition as far as like welcome to the NFL, like hey, someone said my name kind of thing, was in training camp during my rookie year, and I was sixth string in the running back, but I was also on scout team, special teams.
Right.
So I'm wearing number 3. You can't even wear number 3
yeah.
You know, as a running back, and I remember like I treated like my life depended on it. Like this is the most important thing that I have to get this done, right? And so we finally start going live during special teams, and I'm untouchable. Like my mind said, you will not block me. I will get down the damn field and I will make this play. I will get in position.
It's so crazy hearing him say this because I remember, like I said, when it got to the point to where I was like one of the guys on like a starter, and I didn't play special teams anymore, and we used to sit back and just watch like special team practice. What he's describing when he says he's running down like his life depends on it. Some of these guys are on special teams. They know that they're not going to be able to play at any other position but special teams.
Right.
And they go down. They run like we talking about running like your hair is on fire.
I told the guys. I tell them every year, your life depends on this. Your livelihood in the league depends on you making plays on
that
special
is so
teams.
crazy.
You know, and so boom. One time, there's me. I'm flying down the field. Right, made my guy that's supposed to block me miss. You know, flooded up the returner, and we came back to our special teams meeting, and Coach Lynn, our head coach at the time, he didn't even know my name.
Right.
Like, who's number 3?
Number 3.
Who's number 3? And Coach Stu, you know, gave it his like
That's my dog.
Yeah, you know Coach Stu. Yeah, that's what's up. George Stewart, man.
Yes, sir.
Good guy.
That's a whole nother story, man.
Right.
But just a quick thing on him. He made me want to play so much harder for him just because of the passion he had.
Cut
for
the
game.
fat.
The passion he had for the game.
Right.
And so, but Coach Lynn comes in. Coach Stu says, "Yeah, that's Ekeler, man. He's giving us a hell of a look out there." And I was like, yes, like I'm getting some type of recognition.
Yeah.
Here.
And that's what you have to do, like especially when we talk to a lot of kids. Some kids they want it right now. You know, they feel entitled. They expect because they did certain things in high school or a certain level that it's going to be given to them. You got to go out there and put it on tape because, like I said, the eye and sky don't lie. And when you go through practice, go back to your dorm room, whatever the case may, go home, you're being evaluated. So you have to show up on tape, and that's what you have to do. Like no matter what, like I said, you have no choice. Go out there, do your job. You're going to be recognized because it's going to stick out.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I think what the fans really don't realize how deep that story was, right? So we're talking to a running back. He scored 20 touchdowns last year. Right? So everybody's thinking, okay, your highlight, he asked you what you remember from, the beginning of your Chargers career.
Yeah.
They just know you're going to say a touchdown, right?
Nah.
He said,
You're
went
welcome.
down on kickoff or punt coverage, ran around the guy, and just thudded the guy up.
So even building
Right?
on that, man, like my favorite stat till this day is my rookie year. I led the NFL on tackles on punt. Because that same mindset stayed with me. Like, this is how I have to get implemented.
This is how I eat.
Right, yeah.
So
This is
I'm
how
going
I
down,
eat.
I'm making these tackles.
So-
And guess what? I was making the
Come
damn
on.
tackles.
Come on.
You know,
Right.
I got embedded. Like, let's try them on offense.
Because it's not about going out and scoring touchdowns at that moment of your career, right?
Exactly.
You have to go ahead and get through the first part of having the coach know your name.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Literally.
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And
It's
then
an awesome story.
to piggyback what he said, to see where you are now. And it's just like life. It's a journey. You know what I mean? It's where you start, and then it's everything in between. And your journey is still going. You know, it hasn't been cemented yet.
Right.
You're still on that journey of where you want to be. And I think to be where you are, to be the running back that you are, to be one of 2 Chargers to score 20 touchdowns in a season.
LaDainian.
With LaDainian Thompson, that's a big accomplishment in itself.
Absolutely.
And for me, that tells me a lot about who you are now, and just listening to your story and your mindset. Having that mindset as a rookie going down on special teams, you're taking that same mindset as a running back and, like I said, implementing and being the focal point on your offense. So what is next for Austin Ekeler? What is next for you? And I know you're on that journey.
Yeah.
What is it going to take for you to be satisfied? Is it the Super Bowl? Is it individual goals or what have you? And I know that's part of it, but like I said, everybody thinks differently. That's why I'm asking.
Right. So you talked about the journey, and for me, that's where I find fulfillment. Like that's my fulfillment in life. Like it's deeper than happiness. People try try to be happy. Nah, I'm like, nah, I ain't trying to do that, man. I'm trying to be fulfilled. Like, no matter where my life is, I feel like I put so much effort into it, and I feel like I've done enough and continue to grow. Whether I get the results I want or not, I'm putting the effort into it. So I feel like that's all you really can do. And so it's the same thing when it comes to football. Like my fulfillment in football is there is no end. How far am I gonna go? I didn't even know I was gonna be here. I didn't even know about the NFL.
Right.
You know,
I'm the same way.
I ain't talking about Pro Bowl, all this stuff.
Right.
That will be a result of my work, of my journey. But that's what I focus on.
Yeah, that's
I want
And how old are you?
I'm 27 now.
27. So mature, right? Definitely wasn't mature at 27.
I mean, we've had a couple of guys on this show that were very mature for their age. Even some guys that are in college right now.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, there's not many that are where you are right now, as you said, that think the way you the way you
I would
do.
say like 3 or 4 years ago, like I just heard a statement, and now I'm like, I learned to not be emotionally connected to the result.
Yes.
And that's
yes.
what at 27 I didn't get that.
Say the same
you know what
thing.
I'm saying?
I'm not results driven.
Right.
Like, I'm journey driven.
Yes.
I want that hard work. That's
Yeah.
what I want, because that's gonna make me character. That's gonna build me up. That's gonna make me a better person. That's building my floor. Right. I want the work. Right. I want that hardship. You know, and then the results will come because of that.
Exactly.
And they'll be even greater because I'm searching for that. I'm seeking the challenge, right? I'm living on the edge of the brink of my capacity of what I can do, because that's where you're going to be developing.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome. Now, are you, again, because you're a different type of character, right? Would you say that, right?
Yeah, I would say
in a good way.
A little different.
But
Yeah,
now
for
I
sure,
want
a
to
little
take that
different.
to the locker room, because when we have more of guys like you in the locker room, we have a good locker room. We have a good locker room. We have a good team, right? So who are like some of the guys that kind of think of like you, like how do they process things like you? Like I would like to know that who's in that locker room.
Oh, different personalities.
I'm sure, yeah.
See, on our team, we got a unique situation right now where we lost a lot of leadership, and I feel like we didn't really pick up a lot of leadership, and that's where I feel like I kind of formulated into a role.
Because you're a leader now. You're going on your 6th year in the league. You're old school
want to
dang near
be.
now.
Exactly. I kind of got forced in
Right.
the situation
By
where it's
default,
where it's like no one else is saying anything. I'm definitely gonna say something because I'm trying. I need all of us to do well so that I can do well at the same time, right? And so as far as guys that think like, I think Sebastian, we just picked up a guy over from, I think he came over from the Rams. Sebastian, we got a guy from Van Noy. Van Noy over from the Patriots as well. Some of the older guys that have been around, which it takes time. Like Justin going into year 3, he's not that vocal leader right now. He's still building confidence. Derwin James, definitely a guy that's going to be talking. It's not even talking. It's more like bringing guys along. You know, like making sure guys are ready, guys are locked in. You know,
And sometimes like leading by example, I think speaks a lot. It says a lot, especially when guys are not vocal or verbal. You know what I mean? And then when you don't have a team full of veteran, you don't have that leadership, then like you said, you're kind of thrust into that role by default. So in order to obviously to be successful, at some point you have to start speaking up. Now you don't want something to kind of go wrong or derail during the course of the season. Then sort of being reactive. Right now, you'd rather be proactive than reactive at this point.
No doubt. And it kind of brings me back to a situation I remember I had in college. So my first year in college, there was only 5 seniors on the team. Wow. So what does that tell you? People are dropping out.
Left and right.
5 seniors.
5
seniors on the team my rookie year. We ended up graduating with 25. You know, so we stayed. My group stayed through. We got it done. But like I remember our first road game, people messing around on their phones, talking during meetings, and coach asked, "Does anyone have anything?" I remember I was so nervous. I'm a freshman, right? I'm getting up here. I'm like, it seems like I remember trembling. I was almost like I'm getting teary-eyed because I'm like, I care so much. It seems like y'all don't care. Like, y'all don't want to be here. Like I'm trying to go out here and win a game and do something, you know, and you guys are all here around, you know, and so I that's still it's within me. It's not who I am all the time, but it's within me, right? It's going back to
the moment.
You got to be proactive instead of reactive, right? So
That's crazy. So now Chargers locker room again. Like I said, quarterback's going on his 3rd year. You are one of the vets on the team, right?
Shoot, it's crazy because sorry, a little interjection,
No, you good.
but besides Keenan, I'm the 2nd guy that's been there the longest.
Yeah. You old school, man. At 27, you old school.
Yeah, Keenan's what third? This is
year 9.
He's turned 30,
like 10,
but going into like 9 or 10.
Yeah,
year 10.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So again, you're the vet.
I'm not the oldest, but as far as being around on the Chargers,
tenure-wise,
for
sure. So, obviously, like I said, Justin, he's definitely made himself kind of a household name when you talk about top. I would say top 10 quarterbacks.
Top 10, you said?
I would have to say. I mean, just on his progression, especially year 2. Now we're going into year 3. What do you think that the ceiling is for this guy? Because I mean, we've seen, like I said, there's been some comparisons of his play style. Obviously, like I said, for me to see where he is now, coming from Oregon, and obviously, like I said, people like, oh, he's going to be a good quarterback. No, he's not. He's come in from year 1 and year 2 and kind of solidified himself. And then obviously, you guys had a little bit of a run, going into the playoffs. What is it going to take for Los Angeles Chargers to get back to be, obviously, I think you guys are a contender, but to win the Super Bowl.
Right. And even just staying with Justin, man, like, I came from a situation where I was with Philip for 3 years, 17-year vet, seeing how he operates, he runs practice, he runs the offense, he's running all the audibles, things like that, to now a new guy on the block, and just seeing the growth. So what I think Justin's done a great job over the first 2 years is showing his athletic ability, that he can physically do it. And so as we know, has been playing just players, there's so much mental game to this thing, and that's where Philip excelled. Like, Philip already knew the defense based on who we were playing because he knew the defensive coordinator, he knew what they liked to run.
And been around for like 17 years.
He's showing us stuff from like 2005. Like, hell, I remember we were playing Miami, but now we're playing the Broncos, but this guy was here, and so this is what he likes to run type of stuff, right? And so that's where the gap is right now, is the exposure, which it takes time. He physically can do it, but as far as getting the mental game down, which I think is the thing that really caters you to get to the next level.
It's how he prepares.
Exactly. And so it's that, but then it's also just having the guys around you to actually continue to get it done for you.
So that's where you're going to come in. So
exactly.
I mean,
pick up the pieces.
You're going to have to duplicate.
I mean, 20 touchdowns ain't enough, obviously.
Right,
you got to get 25,
Obviously, we're going to make the playoffs. Down to the end.
Right, exactly.
Do or die.
So now, like I said, you just mentioned it, you touched on it. It's just about the players surrounding him. Like I said, he can be the best quarterback in the league, but if he doesn't have the weapons, obviously run pass combination,
we all definitely have the weapons,
to expand upon his athletic ability and what he can do down the field. I think that's going to be what's going to be key for the success of the team. And then obviously you got to throw in some 20+ touchdowns again, bro.
I'm telling you. So I'll add on that, because like we do have the players. We have players that have showed they consistently play at a high level. But you know how it is, man. Every single year you have to come out and prove that
it's
again.
It's different.
Yes, sir.
You have to prove that again. It doesn't matter who you have. It matters what you do. And so you have people that have a rapport, have a history, which is great, because then you can have some type of expectation. But if you don't come out and meet those expectations, it doesn't matter. Keenan Allen's great. He got to come out and do it again, show it again. Can he keep doing it? And so that's what's going to take from all of us. That's what every single team in the league is trying to show, that they're the most consistent, can play at the highest level for the longest.
Let me. I want to ask you this about because we know 20+ touchdowns. I thought you should have went to the Pro Bowl, right? So of course, but I know how you're going to answer it. You're like, I'm enjoying the journey.
No,
but again,
crazy, man.
I know, right? But you don't. That doesn't bother you because you enjoyed the journey.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. You control.
You can control what you can
control.
Bro, that's no.
I know, but that's what. It's over though. It's over.
I get it, but that's disrespectful.
Do you know the 3 that went though?
No, I don't care. If a dude breaks 20 touchdowns in a season, bro,
I agree.
That's not
I agree.
grounds for a Pro Bowl spot?
I didn't vote. Right? I didn't vote.
Know you like that.
The fans. The fans.
First of all, they need to take the fans out of it.
Yeah,
let me ask you this, right?
Bro,
so the fans who voted for you for the Pro Bowl, or do you want to show more love to your fantasy football owners? Because you're very high when it comes to fantasy football.
Fantasy hands
down. You're everywhere across the country when it comes to fantasy.
I said it earlier, but I'm chasing opportunities, man.
Okay.
Talk about opportunity, bro. Like, I'm on every fantasy league.
Yes,
I'm a top pick. So as far as the Chargers, we said it's super competitive up here. We don't have as many Charger fans as a lot of these places that have implemented their football season team into their city, right? But where can I get exposure? Not just in my city, but across the entire world is fantasy football. So absolutely, I'm putting so much effort into that, doing giveaways. I got my show. We're doing all this stuff with fantasy, because I got 50-1 fantasy fans to Charger fans. So where are my fans going to be? Where are my followers? Where's my opportunity? It's in fantasy football,
Right,
you know, and so it's about creating something that you can build on. For me, anyway, in the future, right? And so I had to I'm following the opportunities, right? So,
Finding your own lane, creating your own niche.
So tell people about the show. Tell us about the show.
So yeah, it's called Ekeler's Edge, and so
Okay.
I'm not like an expert about fantasy football at all. I didn't really start getting into it, so people started hitting me up like, "Hey, thanks for scoring me all these points."
Right.
I know.
Do I get paid for me scoring points?
I haven't played in like 10 years. Like, man, you won me so much. You won so many leagues in fantasy
run it.
football. I need that.
my
money.
cut.
Can I I need my cut. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, we missed that one with the PA. It is. But
Ekeler's Edge.
Ekeler's Edge. And so basically, what it is, it's a draw to the community. Like I'll answer the questions, talk about like what I think about some matchups. We'll answer some questions. I love talking about life, motivation, that stuff just runs within me. So it's a combination of that. We'll bring on some other guests, talk to them about how the season's going, what they got going outside of football.
Awesome.
So it's just a talk show where we implement fantasy and life.
Now, where
And
can
life
people
together.
find it?
Yeah, so it's with Yahoo.
Okay.
So we find it in the Yahoo Fantasy Sports app, actually.
That's awesome.
So it's on there.
Congratulations, man.
I
That's
appreciate
awesome.
it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so let's talk about, like I say, you've talked about a number of opportunities. You're
Yeah.
chasing opportunities. I got a chance to talk to you about that within the FCF.
Yeah,
you're
FCF,
an
yeah.
owner with
Fan
one of
Control
the-
Football League.
Yeah, with
One of the owners right here.
Exactly. Fan Control Football League. How did you come about
Yeah.
that, and how did you enjoy it?
Yeah, so I mean, during COVID, I started streaming on Twitch, which the FCF games are presented on
Streamed
Twitch.
on.
Yep. So there was the opportunities presented to me from there. I built up this huge community on Twitch because there was no other content during COVID,
Oh,
right?
right.
So I was like, shoot, I'm getting on Twitch. I'll interact with everyone on there. And so they reached out to me before the league is even a thing. And they're like, hey, we're thinking about doing this concept, trying it out while everything's kind of shut down, putting everyone in a bubble, playing some games. And so that was year one. There was only 4 teams at the time. And I was like, yeah, like this is what I'm about. I'm about community, I'm about football and opportunity, right? This is creating an
Perfect
opportunity.
marriage, right.
This is creating an opportunity for guys to get some exposure out there, things like that. So like, let's do it. And then year one went through. We were the Wild Aces, got that championship, got the dub. So
Okay, there it is.
Then ran it back again, and then we expanded the league. You came in.
I
did
came
your
in and
thing.
played a little bit, the Zappers, and then I got traded to Knights of Fusion.
all over.
Right.
It's still chaos right now. It's organized chaos is what it is right now.
Yeah.
It's with any startup, It's what to be expected, but just things like that, opportunities that have been presented to me because of just the efforts I'm putting out into the community, man. That's really what I'm trying to look for.
And obviously, being realistic, what do you think about some of the talent that's in FCF? And I know for me, I'm gonna say I know there's a couple of guys that can be playing in the league right now.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
Just understanding your path, your journey, and what I saw for 8 weeks,
Yeah.
I know for damn sure there's 2 or 3 guys that can be or should be at least given a shot.
Yeah,
on
or even a practice squad, yeah,
practice
it would-
squad that is playing in the FCF
Yeah.
right now, bro.
No doubt.
I'm one of the guys off the top of my head. 2 guys, actually 3 guys. Andrew Jamil.
yeah, for sure should be in a practice squad at least.
Andrew Jamil, Jordan Smith, and I'm gonna give my man James Harden.
Not the basketball player.
No,
James
not the
Harden.
basketball guy. The guy James Harden. Trust me.
Right.
Just thinking about your path, your journey,
Yeah.
and I think I've talked to these guys. If they have the right mindset, just given the opportunity, I think they'll make it.
There's a disconnect though. Here's the thing. Where we are lacking and why these leagues actually have some type of grip is because we don't have a semi-pro.
Right.
Like we're not like baseball
No,
where they got
no
like
matter what minor league.
there's exactly. There's no
No
minor.
minor
So
league.
basically, it's you make it or you can
don't.
go overseas,
Right.
or you don't, right?
Yeah,
and
right.
even overseas, they have limits on how many Americans they can take, all that stuff, and
Right.
you got to change your entire life, go to a different country. So that's
Right.
not really
Yep.
intriguing to people.
Right.
So there's there's a lot of talent still out there that maybe only needs a couple more years of development or just didn't get the right exposure, And
Yep.
so I 100% agree that there's definitely some talent all over the
Hopefully,
place.
what Dwayne Rock Johnson is doing
Oh,
with
yeah.
XFL, hopefully
Yeah.
this will be sort of a segue,
Right.
kind of a plug and play, filling that gap of what we're talking about
Right.
to get some of these guys, again, more exposure and obviously fair opportunity because
Right.
I'm saying, you think about, obviously it's 73, 75 guys on a team. Like I
Right.
said, you have your 53-man roster, but there's a lot of guys, like I said, that, they're just collecting the check, throughout the course of the year. They may never get any playing time.
Right.
But they're doing enough just to stay on the squad. Obviously, they're doing practice squad, doing scout team things of that nature.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, there's a lot of other talent that's out there that just
that are
haven't been
hungry
tapped
too.
into. Yeah,
like they're feeding. They want
Yeah,
something.
right.
That's why they're doing like FCF things like that, like
Absolutely.
XFL, right?
Yeah.
Right.
'Cause they still got that drive, still young, and they should be. Like you're only young one time in your life, man.
Right.
like you only do this for so long.
Yeah.
And
You know,
people
unless
ask
you're
me,
TO, then you do
right.
it forever.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but that's what I'm saying. People ask me, why are you still doing it?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's because I can still do it.
Right.
I honestly feel like I can still do it. I can move around. I
Right.
can do it just as well as some of these young guys that are out there. Like I said, just not given the opportunity because everybody throws in the age factor.
Right.
But other than that, like I said,
It's not age, it's the O factor. You old as hell. That's what it is.
Hey, that's cool. I can do it. I'm doing it for the old people.
Do it for yay, represent for the old folks.
You know what I mean? But like I said, people like I said, they're intrigued, and like I said, that's really kind of like my answer. And if it's not, that will be my answer going forward. It's like, why are you still doing it? Because I'm
I
able
can.
to.
Because you can.
Yeah, because I
Your
can.
life.
And I can
Absolutely.
still do it. Some people are judging me on what I'm doing by what they
Right.
can't
Do.
do
Right.
at my age. You know what I mean?
Or what their expectation for someone your age should do.
Yeah.
Right,
And you're not
exactly.
doing that, so they're like, oh, they're
Yeah.
questioning.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And not given the opportunity. Because like I said, I honestly think that this is no knock on Tom Brady. Obviously, there's a lot of factors as to why he's doing what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I know for sure, if Tom Brady can do it at his age,
Different
I know
position.
I know.
That's
what I'm
all
saying.
they're gonna say.
Right, but again, there's a lot of factors into that. Yeah, he has protection. You know what I mean? For somebody like me, I don't have that protection. Like, oh, well, you may get hurt. This and that. What that's for anybody. Anybody go across the middle.
We were just
whatever,
having
get
this
tackled.
this conversation about the rap game, right? Jay-Z's at 52 still rapping, right? Now 20, 30 years ago, nobody ever wanted to see a 50-year-old rapper. But now it's okay for him to do it because he changed that. He changed the landscape of what it is.
Exactly.
So if you want to change the landscape, change the landscape.
Yeah. Hey, you guys ever short a receiver? Hey, man.
Let's go, brother.
You got me, bro.
Let's go.
Hey, you know where I am. I'm
Well,
right here
again,
in
now
LA.
that you're on the
Tom's, let's
ownership
go.
side, you're an owner
No,
now.
I ain't talking about no FCF.
No, I know.
I'm talking about the league.
I'm
brother.
talking about the real.
I know. I'm saying, do you look at it differently now, even because you can take that
Right.
business perspective from that league, and now with the NFL, same thing. You're looking and evaluating players.
I went to school for business, and so I definitely have that type of mindset when I'm looking at, like my evaluation. Like, there's like the only time I compare myself to other players, right, is when it comes to like negotiations type of stuff. Other than that, I'm trying to compete against myself, just be the best that I can be, right? But
Be the best you. I already got
boom,
you.
there it is. There it is.
Yeah,
That's the
shit.
foundation shirt.
Okay.
Be the best you.
Yeah, no, that's all we can try to do. And so, but when it comes down, you can't stray away from it. There's always a business, side to any of our industries.
Yeah.
And so you can't just go away from that. Like you can't get away from it. It's always going to be there. So you have to understand it. You have to know how it works, and you have to be like, hey, so there's some things I can't control because of these business things.
Yeah.
What
What can you tell your fantasy owners to expect from you this season?
I get this all the time, and there's like this misconception because I'm always like vocalizing like, look, I'm looking for someone to take reps off of me. Someone because I know my longevity in the league, and I know I'm trying to stay as efficient as I can. So people are like, oh, why do you want Austin? Like he's trying to give up his rep. It's like, no, I'm trying to stay efficient.
Yes, for years, not for gains.
Exactly, for years, right? Sustain because like this game beats you up, right? But as far as me and my play, like when I am on the field, I'm obviously trying to be the most efficient that I can. But here's the thing. When I'm used and how I'm utilized on the field, they're throwing me the ball. I caught like 70 balls last year, and they're handing it to me. They're just giving me the ball any way they can, and where are they getting me the ball in the red zone?
Yes.
Right. So what are you looking for in a fantasy running back? The guy that catches the ball, especially if you have PPR, guy that catches the ball, guy that's running it, and guy that's scoring touchdowns. It's the trio. It's the trifecta. Right. And so that's all I've ever done as far as long as I've been healthy. That's what I've been doing. And so there's a lot of great picks out there, but you boys,
you're the pick. You
Boys
are
gonna
the
be efficient,
pick.
man.
But it's crazy because in fantasy football, you like most of the time the runner who gets you down to the goal line, then they bring in another runner. But it's it's a show of respect that you get to stay in. You're a 3-down back.
Look, we'll still do that. If we're on the 1 or 2 yard line, we might bring in a bigger body. I am what I am. I'm 5'9",
You
195.
5'8". Stop playing.
You
5'8".
5'8". So
There
we
you go,
rounded
okay.
up there. 5'9", 195. And so I got to score from a little further out. But hey, I got no problems doing that. I'll make a guy miss. I'll get in there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
My next question is obviously being here in Los Angeles, you have the Rams, you have yourself the Chargers. Obviously, sometimes that can be a little power struggle, team struggle. Like we have
Fan
the Los
base
Angeles
struggle.
Lakers, you have the Los Angeles Clippers. Everybody kind of knows this is Laker town. Obviously with the Rams winning their championship here, first time in the stadium, is there like is there extra motivation to try to kind of reclaim or really kind of stake your claim here in Los Angeles of who's the best team? Right now, they have one leg up on you.
Yeah, they got a big leg.
I try to downplay it a little bit.
They won the Super Bowl in their own stadium.
Right. In your stadium as well.
Yes, right. The one that we played. It would have been
Right.
epic if it was us against them. But we dropped our part. They held up theirs. But yeah, man, it's such a crowded neighborhood as far as entertainment. Man, it's so crowded. Yeah. So, bro, we're all fighting. We're all fighting for fans out here, and they won the Super Bowl.
Speaking of real estate, you're fighting for real estate.
Right.
You're fighting for real estate around this piece, dog.
So it's something that's one of those things we can't control. We gotta show up. We gotta play. We're trying to bring in as many fans as we can. It's more so on the organization side, and it is on us. We're the product. We gotta go out there and make it exciting. So as long as we're winning games, but even that, like the Rams just won the Super Bowl, they're still gonna have this same problem we have, trying to fill their stadium with their own fans.
Yeah.
And so it's gonna take time.
Yeah.
But they're doing the necessary thing and winning kind of.
Yeah, we gotta pick up that category.
Yeah.
We gotta do more of that.
But like I said, honestly, I know I was just joking about the 0-2, but you guys are on the cusp of doing some great things. I see the pieces that you have in tow.
It's there.
Obviously, new head coach. Obviously what you're doing in the backfield. Obviously, you got a great quarterback, great receiving core. I mean, you guys have the necessary pieces, and like I said, obviously the AFC, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, and so I'm going to be looking out for who kind of.
Yeah,
when the dust is settled, who's there?
We're looking forward to it, man. What do you want? You want to be tested, or you want to get the easy way by? Bring that on. So
You do what is hard, life will be easy. There it is.
Say that again.
What are your aspirations after football? Again, we know business,
Man,
but
to
what
do the same thing I'm doing
be?
right now, man. Let's continue to build, man. I'm really big into real estate. Built up an empire there. I have like 100,
commercial
100 units right now.
Okay.
So yeah, it's all residential.
Residential stuff.
Whether we have some multifamily. We have some single family.
Here in California, or
Colorado, Missouri. I'm building an app right now. It's an engagement platform that you can get things signed. You can game with people, like people that have influence, and to be able to engage.
What's
with
the name
fans.
of the app?
It's called Experience.
Okay.
Last name is Ekeler.
Okay.
So
Experience.
Ekeler Experience.
Okay.
It's just Experience.
No, I know. I got it.
So, short as X for short. It's not live yet, but it's coming out.
It's in the beta phase, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
I got you.
So building on that, and then obviously putting out some of my own content, continue to do that, continue to be exposed in different ways to different people, fantasy football, big one right now, obviously, and then obviously the NFL. That's one of my jobs. The main thing right now is my biggest opportunity. But really, my goal is to continue to plant seeds in different industries and different things that I'm interested in, so that I can grow those. And so like the people are like, oh, what are you gonna do when you're done? Like, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just trying to grow, man. I'm growing as much as I can, as fast as I can, Awesome. And so when I'm done, I just have options.
Yeah.
That's what you want. You want to have options, right? So you're not like, oh, dang, I have to go do this.
No, go do anything you want to do.
I didn't connect with people. I didn't, be proactive when I was in the league.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How excited are you for the upcoming season?
Oh.
Obviously, like I said, you guys finished strong, but it's just a little bit short.
Yeah.
But like I said, like you mentioned it, and I mentioned it earlier. We both all alluded to it. Every year is different. You know what I mean? The teams that were hot going into the playoffs last year, it's been like a 6 to 8 month gap. You know what I mean? Before the season starts, so you can't just rely on what you were doing and how hot you were then. There's a lot of time that has lapsed. Teams have changed, personnel has changed, this, that, and the other, new players gone in, out. How excited are you about this upcoming season with what you know that you have on the roster right now?
That's what I live for. Like I talked about my fulfillment, like I'm looking for new opportunities. And that's what every season is, man. It's a new opportunity for you as an individual to establish yourself, but then also come together collectively with a team and try to establish yourself and make a run too. But you know how it is. We take it one game at a time.
Yeah, sure.
We play the Raiders. We play where we left off with the Raiders.
Yeah.
And so we know Raider Nation is
matchup.
going to be in our stadium.
Ooh, that's going to be a good matchup. They got some new pieces over there. They got Devontae Adams coming off from
AFC West. Hey, Junior out there. Yeah. AFC West, the toughest conference in football.
We'll see. Yeah, as far as
as
far as the consistency in the players we got, it's making a contender for itself.
Man,
sure.
This is the AFC is gonna be strong. This year. Ooh, you got
the West is strong. The West
We're gonna find out who's real quick.
Real quick.
Man, this is gonna be. Ooh, y'all about to kick this thing off right.
And we're back to back too. We go Raiders Chiefs Thursday night.
Oh man,
you
y'all
love it.
0-2. Ooh, boy, y'all
0-2? Wow. You gonna put him out there like that? You see what I'm saying?
That's a dog. Y'all going 0-2.
That's a cut.
Golly, you gonna put him out there bad like that?
No, I'm just messing with you.
But shoot, I appreciate you coming on, man. Good luck this year and all.
Man,
do your thing. We're gonna be rooting for you. You know what I'm saying? Go get that Pro Bowl too. 20 tubs.
We'll see.
Dude, I'm
20 tubs, baby.
I'm trying to push the bar. Always trying to push.
Dog, that's disrespectful, dog.
Crazy,
20
man.
20 tubs, bro, and no Pro Bowl? Who?
You voted. You one of the voters.
I barely even watched. I don't even think I watched one of his 20 tubs. But I know I'm right here in the backyard, so I know what's kind of going on, though.
There it is.
You know what I mean?
There it is. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Get your popcorn ready with Austin Ekeler. LA Chargers, not the San Diego Chargers. See y'all next week. Peace.
Yeah.